Hey everybody, welcome to the third video in our review series. This is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. In this one we're going to talk about some of the view directive-like commands. So if you've ever used Angular, so there's a lot of aspects of like React and Angular as you explore. Like in Angular you have these directives, these kind of HTML properties you kind of have to do all sorts of cool stuff. Vue has them too. Okay, so for example, remember that whole array we put in there? So let's go back to our hello world component. We had this array 1, 2, 3. Well, what if we wanted to iterate over that array? So we wanted to create, let's say, a p tag that uses that array. What we would do, so kind of like in Angular, except instead of ng4, it's v4. So everything's always v in Vue. So it would be v4 equals, okay, and then it would just be basically num. So you can name it, this part you can give any name you want, num, cheese, whatever. So for every number in my array, so for every this in this collection, this object, this array, so so it's going to loop over and create a p tag for each number in the array, and they're going to call it num. So then I can just do this, num. Okay, and it's just going to put the number right in there. So now if I save this, let's just see if there's any, can we complain about something? Oh yeah, that's right, one parent element. Okay, so let me wrap this up in a div. I'm sure they probably have something like a React fragment in here, but let's keep it simple. Okay, and let me save that. And actually, let me just add one more thing. Other thing you want to add is whenever you use like a for loop, like the v4, you also want to add a key. Key equals, and we'll say, and the syntax for the key should actually have a colon in front of it. So it's colon key, and the key should equal num. Save. Okay, that time it should compile that. Yep. Let's take a look. And you see, hello Gouda cheddar, 1, 2, 3. Hello Gouda pepperjack, 1, 2, 3. So it's iterating over the array. Now, that's not that exciting there, but let's say you had like an array of like users, and you wanted to like list all the users. You can quickly create a bunch of divs with all your user information, user photos, which that's really useful. That's very, very handy. Okay, so that's a cool thing. That's good. Cool. So that's that. Oh, that's not where I want to be. Now, what if you want to use functions? Okay. What's going to happen here is we're going to have another property to our object. I'm actually going to do it over here. Okay. And what we're going to do is actually here's where the data element ends. So let's put a comma there. And then we're going to have a property called methods. And in methods, you just define your functions. Okay, so methods are just another object filled with a bunch of functions. Okay, and we're going to do, we're going to do an increment array function, because why not? So basically, we just define the function like you would do any function. So increment array, like that. And what I'm going to do is that in this one, it's going to take my r. Okay. Yeah, let's give it a shot. myr.map. No, I don't want to do that. Let's just keep it simple. Let's just go over here. Let's create another piece of data. We're going to call it number. Okay, and we just say the number is 1. And then we're just going to say, hey, over here, we have number. So we'll print it onto the screen. Where was I at? So here's number 1. Let me put a comma because it's a individual property. And then all this is going to do is just say number equals number plus 1. That's all this is going to do. It's just going to add 1 to number. Let's hit save. Okay, let's see where the error is. I figured that was going to be there, and number is not defined. So I'm figuring that's going to have to be data.number. I think it's going to be the case. Let's see. And no. Got it. So it's going to be this. So basically you're going to do this.number because it's part of this object. Okay, so it's this.number and then equals this.number plus 1. Neat. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a button. And this button should have a click event. I think in view it's at click equals. And then I think we're going to run increment. I don't know why I called it increment array, but whatever. We'll increment array because originally I was going to increment the array. That's why. Increment array. And then the button will just say push me / button. Okay, so just to recap, we have a methods property to add any functions to the component. I'm adding a function called increment array that's going to take the number property on this object, on this component. So that's why we have to use this. So that's this number over here. It's going to take that number and just add 1 to it. So let's save. Let's see if it compiles down just fine. I'm sure there's always a little... Oh, no, so far so good. Okay, so basically ideally, we're going to see a button. I don't see a button. Where did my button go? Button, add click / button. Did I do anything funny there? Okie dokie. So there's the button. So basically the way we fixed that was you have to put little invocation. So unlike normal click events where you don't put the parentheses, here you do got to put the parentheses to invoke the function. That was just kind of confusing it about the existence of the button. So now if I push the button, let's see if it works. Wait, where did the number go? So the number should be over here. So let's see why the number's not there. So number is defined here. So like all the other things, it should be showing up. Let's put comma number. It's in the H1. For some reason the 1 doesn't want to appear. Number. Is there anything else called number that's conflicting with it? Spell it differently. Number, no. Let's add another property. Actually, I think it's because it's a reserved word. That's, I think, the issue, because number is a reserved word in JavaScript. That's always, we'll just say my number. And we'll just change this to my number. And then change it on the function to my number. My number. Because technically, number is a type in JavaScript. So it's like, it's the same reason I can't use string or the word array or something like that. Let's see, did that fix it? There we go. Yep, that fixed it. Now if I hit push me, there you go. And notice that it only changes one of them. So even though they're the same component, this push me button only affects that instance of the component, because they both end up, they're both being created as separate things at the same time with their own separate data. So so this is the, you know, great instance of encapsulation. Okay, now let's do something else that's kind of cool. Okay, let's create a boolean. So let's add to our data. So we're going to say toggle, and our toggle is going to be false, even though I put that in the wrong spot. Need to put that here. Toggle false. Okay, and then we're going to add to this function this dot toggle also equals not this dot toggle. So that function does that, and we're going to say that the v4 here, this whole like iteration thing, we're going to use a V-If. V-If means only show it if this expression is true. So the expression is just going to be the variable toggle. So if toggle equals true, that shows up. If not, it doesn't. So V-If toggle, and then again, every time we click this button, it's going to toggle that. So let's see that. Oh, it's complaining. Let's see here. What is it complaining about? Token. Where did I put a semicolon? Let's go take a look. Toggle equals this dot toggle. I mean, that looks good to me. Here toggle. What is it complaining about? Unexpected token expected a semicolon. Why would it expect a semicolon? Let's read here. Oh, okay, here's where that ended. So I need to take this out of here. Cut. And then this needs to go here. And let me just match up my data. Okay, yeah, that's where that ends. Because it's an object within the definition of the function. I get it. Okay, so it's safe. Do unexpected token right there. Let's go back and assess. Make sure everything matches up. So that goes with that. That goes with that. But we don't need this comma over here. That comma's just hanging out. Okie dokie. Refresh my website. V for V-If. V-If should be moved to the wrapper element. Okie dokie. So what they want me to do is create another element. So let's do this. Let's wrap that P in its own div. And then put the V-If on that div. Sorry for the sirens. I do live in Brooklyn, at least for the moment. And there's constant sirens since I live on the path to a hospital. Good times. Okay, so the V-If toggle. Save. And that should do the trick. Okay, so push me. And see, it adds the number and toggles on and off the iterated. So, you know, you can do cool stuff. So that's essentially how Vue works. Okay, there's a lot more to it, but the idea behind these videos isn't to teach you everything, but just to give you enough of a primer so that you can dive in and learn more. So have a great day and enjoy.